JT, good morning. Thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to talk to me today. Really been looking forward to this interview. For those of you that don't know JTFoxx is my business coach and successful in many different areas in business and finance. And he's agreed to meet with me today to talk to us a little bit about how he's gotten to where he is. So JT, thanks again. One of the things that I wanted to really pick your brain about is you fascinate me because you do so many things and you do them incredibly well. But you came from pretty humble beginnings, and you know, when I think about resilient people, and resilience is one of the things that I help my clients with, you are one of the people that come to mind because you have overcome what for many would seem to be insurmountable odds, and you've done it so well. And here you are, you know, sitting at the pinnacle of success. Tell me, what is it in you that helps you to be resilient and got you to where you are?
Well, first of all, people have to care, right? And whether you have a job or you have a business, it takes care. If you work for somebody else, you know, do you care for, you know, your bosses? Do you care for your manager? Do you care for the benefit of the team? Do you want the company to succeed? And as a, you know, business owner, it's more about, do you care about the customers? Do you care about your employees? And you know that if you quit, then everybody loses. So that's what people don't understand, is that in an organization or a business, if you quit, everybody loses. And I hate losing more than I love winning. Now, because I've experienced winning, so I think people need to experience winning. Was it Tom Brady's famous quote, the favorite ring, that my favorite ring is the one I haven't won yet? And that goes to me, same thing. It's about the next deal, the next target, the next goal, the next trip, the next acquisition, the next everything. But a lot of it comes from a fire that is amongst us all. And some of it hasn't been activated yet. And in many cases, it takes someone like you to go into these companies with people and activate that and find that. And I often think you know, that's why I still have my own coaches, right? And it takes someone like yourself on the outside who's not in it, right? So sometimes the managers think, oh, you know, I'm going to do it. Or if they then do it, they're going to realize that, you know, sometimes it takes a different vision, a different purpose. But a lot of times, some people don't want to go to someone like you or me or whoever, because they're going to be like, oh, they're going to make me look bad. In fact, I think you're going to look good because no one can do it by themselves. And I think that's why resilience comes from developing that truly sort of fire. Am I a better person today than I was yesterday? And will I be a better person tomorrow than I was today? So I don't want to be average. I want to truly live as a human, the best version of myself.
Awesome. I love that. So, you know, when I talk to people, sometimes there's this mindset that, oh, well, of course that person can do that because they're stronger than me. They're more resilient than me. I'm just not built that way. And yes, while some people may be born with inherent traits, I would argue that resilience is something that can absolutely be built. And it's not something that you're just born with. And again, back to you. And I know you don't like to spend a lot of time talking about sort of, you know, challenges that you've been through, but I think it's really helpful for others to look at someone like you and to hear about examples of what you have overcome, both personally when you were younger, and then even professionally in the business world where things haven't gone well and you've been able to pivot and turn lemons into lemonade, so to speak. So can you talk to that a little bit more?
Well, the idea is to start unknown and finish unforgettable. So when you have this, I'm not as strong, I'm not as this, I'm not that, you're already setting up your limiting beliefs. And I think excuses are probably the biggest thing that holds us back. You know, I used to be a stutterer. I was broke, came from Canada, United States, you know, same old story. And it's interesting now, and then 40, you have to now talk about stuff that, you know, when you're 24 or 23 or 22. But I think the journey is different for everyone. it's the same. I think the destination may be different based on what you want. But adversity comes every single day. I tell people, if you have 52 good days in a year, you're going to be a millionaire in the entrepreneur world. I would argue that most days at work are not good. There's always problems and issues and things like that. And, you know, I think there are people in the world who have it way worse than me. You know, you have people that are living in poverty that don't live in the United States or Canada or first world country, and they have to walk 4 hours to get some water. You know, I have a house in Fort Myers that ironically I just sold before the hurricane, but to my CFO. And, you know, that house is, you know, it's still standing, but it took a lot of damages. There are people who lost everything. You know, people have no insurance, people have no flood insurance. So who am I to complain about what problems I have? I think the difference to me is just, I just don't quit. I have a willingness to become better, right? If you want to become better, they need to hire people like you. They need to learn from people like you. They need to be held accountable. They need to realize that, you know what, I want to be part of a winning culture. And ultimately, that's what you're trying to create when you work with your clients. What's my winning culture, right? Do I, you know, because you don't live once, you live every single day and you die once. And so this notion that people are not good enough are just self-limiting beliefs. And if you think you can't, you're probably right. And if you think you can, then you're also probably right. But as long as you don't quit and you try and you put the effort in, you don't lose. You only lose when you quit. And when you create excuses, you've already quit. And so don't look for an excuse to lose.
I love that. Yeah, you've quit in your mind, right? You know, and if you think about days that we would classify as bad or days that we would classify as good, sometimes bad days get worse because we're focused on what went wrong. And then we start noticing everything that's wrong, right? Instead of noticing the things that are right and turning that around. So you mentioned that you still have several business coaches. You know, you are a business and wealth coach yourself. But you continue to invest quite a bit into your own development and growth. Talk to me a little bit about that and why you find that so valuable and helpful for you.
Well, because you don't know the answers all by yourself. So my point is, you know, here's my problem, here's my issue. I go to someone, see what their opinion is. They tell me, yes, good idea, not good idea, or yes, but change this. And then I go out there and I do it and it works. So consulting or coaching has never been a cost, right? People think I'm going to do it themselves, but the margin for error is so small these days. You have technology, you have people, the competition barrier is very high. So I don't, people always look at what things cost, but they don't look at how much things are going to make them. And fundamentally, I think that's the big difference. That's ultimately the big difference that changes everything. So that's to me what I realize about success is that, you know, it's not easy and it's always unknown. And coaching for me brings certainty, even though if I know 99% of the decisions. I mean, listen, I own over 70 companies and brands all over the world. I do business in 55 countries. We have clients in 104. I have deals all over the world. So, you know, you don't know everything. And so, but a lot of people don't, you know, and especially when you achieve a level of success, you think you've made it, but you're constantly improving. You're constantly striving to be that best version. And it doesn't matter if you have a lot of talent. There's plenty of people, a lot of talent in corporations and companies or businesses, entrepreneurs that are never utilize it. You know, I mean, how many A students in school growing up, the ones that we thought they were going to be the best, where are they now? You know, it's the C students, right? Because we've always had to try. I was a D student, so I had to try extra hard. So look where I am now. So I never thought in my wildest dreams that I'd be the success, but I'm still not satisfied with where I'm at. I'm not content. And I think that should be an example. It's not about the money, you know, it's about the value and the fulfillment. We spend the majority of our lives working in a business or at a job. And so I want to make sure that I don't go through the motions in order to get a paycheck, or that, you know what, I truly want to make an impact. And that comes with resilience. And that's why people need to talk to you.
Excellent. Thanks, JT. You're such an inspiration. So of all the coaches that you've had in your lifetime, in your career, what would you say, you know, the most important or most influential ones have taught you? What's really stuck with you that you carry with you?
Well, George Ross was preparation plus practice plus visualization equals, success, and that without failure, there can be no success. So failure is actually a good thing as long as you don't repeat it twice. Hugh Hilton, better, faster, more efficient. Mike Slade, who was best friends with Jobs, best friends with Gates, he says, you know, like add a zero, add two zeros. It's the same way of thinking, right? So remove the fear from those barriers. So there's been a lot of people along the way, and I'm probably the only human being on the planet who's recorded every one of his coaching sessions ever, from broke to I am today. It's over $3 million worth. So people can actually listen to exactly what advice they gave me. And so to me, that's, I always, my philosophy, it's good enough for me. It's good enough for everyone around. So I don't mind sharing.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So what has been your proudest moment in business, or one of your successes that you're most proud of that you've accomplished?
I don't know. I try not to look back about what I'm most proud of, because I have so many things going on now. And I mean, I would argue what I did in Dubai this past week was phenomenal, right? So was the greatest ever? No, but it just goes to show. So every week there's a new thing. Like I'm going to be in a movie, big Hollywood movie again, my second one in about a week and a half. I never thought that was possible until a week ago. So like, it's every week there's different things, because I always say yes. I don't say no, right? Resilient people always say yes. Unresilient people say no and find excuses why not to.
I love that. And there's that saying, right? You'll regret more the things that you don't do than the things that you do, right?
Correct.
Absolutely, 100%. So biggest piece of wisdom that you could share with someone who's on the fence, looking for coaching or consulting?
I always tell people, look at three things: best case, worst case, most likely. What's the best thing can happen if you get the consultant, right? You have success, your team goes in, you're productive, you look like a hero. Worst case, it doesn't work out and you lost money. What's the most likely? Well, of course, it's always going to work out, and you're going to get better. And if you get better, then culturally everybody moves. And then do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. 95% of the decisions are made within 5 seconds. With your gut will be the correct one. With your brain, you're always overthinking, looking for excuses. Your heart, sometimes you get burnt for the wrong reasons. Go with your gut. It's your first gut instinct. So you're only as good as the people. We all need heroes, models, and coaches and consultants. So
Excellent. So with everything that's been going on in the world, the last 2 years, we had obviously the pandemic, and now we've got the economy, right? And what's happening in the stock market. How have you used those big changes to pivot what you're doing in your business? And how would you recommend that others navigate these changes?
well, if you react too late, you're too late. So I'm always trying to think 8 moves ahead. That's why I always get the coaches and the consultants, so that I can have an edge. So, the market changes, the economy changes, everything changes. A year ago, interest rates were super low. Now they're like insanely high. Inflation is an issue. Like there's so many different things. NFTs is another perfect example. Everyone got caught into the hype. So consistency, resiliency, and take action. And action is not something you say, it's something you do. So I hope that helps everybody.
Excellent. Well, JT, thank you so much for taking the time with me today. I really appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you next month in LA for your big mega success crescendo. I can't wait to be there.
I look forward. Thank you so much. And hopefully this helps people. And you owe yourself to talk to Stephanie. She's absolutely amazing. It would be a very unresilient of you not to talk to her, or at least find out what you should do. Thanks.